All right, now it's time for a marketing moment, or let's not kid ourselves, marketing moments here, because we are with Bruce Turkel. Now, Bruce is not only an NSA member, but he runs his own advertising agency, and so he is a proven practitioner of branding for companies and also for individuals or entrepreneurs. So you could say he's kind of a branding speaker, author, expert, doer. So we actually really want to hear what you have to say about branding here, but since we don't have, 20 hours here, how can we refine it down? What aspect of branding can you talk to us about today?
Well, the same challenge that you've just given me, hey, we really want to hear what you have to say, and you've got 30 seconds, is the same challenge that most speakers are presented with when someone asks them about what they do or when they hop up on stage, which is we all want to get into all of our resume, all of our CV, all of the great things we've done and all of the great things we can do, and nobody we're talking to is interested. So what we find, whether we're branding a big company or I'm talking to someone at NSA, is how do you define your issue? Forget elevator speech. How do you get it across in a word or two so I understand who you are and what you're all about?
All right, I'll ask. So, Bruce, how do we really define our issue? Well, first, when you say issue, we're talking about our issues.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the issues that keep you up at night or make you wet your bed or any of those things. I know we all have issues.
How did you know? Okay.
Well, it's a look, I can tell. But that's not the point. The issue is, what is it you speak about? More importantly, what is it you do that gives value to the person you're going to speak to? And remember, we keep hearing folks talk at NSA about the value to the audience. We don't work for the audience. We work for the person who hired us. And the value for them is that we make them look good. That's what we all do. We make the person who hired us look good. We make them look good by doing a professional job, by providing real value to the audience, by being entertaining, by being the famous person that they thought we would be when we hopped up on stage. But the issue is, what are they going to say about us that's going to make folks want to show up and then afterwards say to the meeting planner, you did a great job. That guy or that woman was awesome.
All right. Now I'll use my favorite words. Do you have an example?
Of course I have an example.
Woo! Okay, I was worried.
In fact, I have lots of examples, but let me give you examples that are not speaker examples, because otherwise I'm going to give you 3 speaker examples, and then I'm going to get a call from someone who does something else and go, oh, but you didn't list what I do. So let's look at companies. Some companies run these incredibly complicated businesses, like the car business, for example. If you're a manufacturer, you do research and design, you do development, cost, you have e-commerce issues, you have green issues, you're a distributor, you're a repair, you have retail, you're international, you have government logistics, you have emissions, you have all of these things. You run a business that arguably is more complicated than what any of us speakers actually do. Yet, most of the car companies can tell you what they do in 1, 2, or 3 words. Toyota is durable. They are an appliance. That's what they sell. BMW is performance. Volvo, you all know it, 1 word, safety. But if they can do it, if they can reduce what they do to a word or 2, even though they're complicated, expensive, have 100-year histories, why can't we do the same thing?
Okay, Bruce, why can't we?
Because our egos get in the way, and because our needs to help people get in the way, because we want to talk about all this good stuff we do, because we build websites, we build brochures, and we build our marketing descriptions for our mothers, not
so
our
a
customers.
Monument to justifying our existence.
To, hey, look at me, I turned out okay. And considering the fact that many of us get up and speak on stage because we're talking about things that we did badly and we learned how to do properly, that even makes more so. So we can't wait for someone to say, what do we do? Oh, what do I do? Let me tell you.
Just kind of take it down to the practical, tactical level. So, okay, let's say I'm listening now. I'm driving in my car, and I did not hit advance because you've been interesting so far. And so I start saying, okay, Bruce, I'm buying this. I'm buying this that I tend to pontificate too much when I describe what I do. Defining my issue, what are some practical, tactical things that I can start doing to start implementing your concept here?
Well, the first thing to do is to make a list of, first of all, everything you offer, all the things you offer. And it takes a long time, but you need to put them down. And then I want you to go back through that list of all the things I offer, and I want you to find the things that are what are called PODs, points of difference. What do I offer that's different? Showing up on time is not different. If you don't do it, by the way, you're not going to get hired, but just doing it doesn't get you hired either. Being a good speaker, we seem to think qualifies us to get gigs, and it's not true. It's just cost of entry. If the car doesn't go from point A to point B, you're not going to buy it. But just because it doesn't mean you're going to buy it either. So I want you to go through all of those things you listed and separate your points of difference. What is it that sets you apart? Then I want you to ladder up a step higher and put down the functional benefits of what your audience, both the person who hires you and also the people who are going to be listening to you, what are the functional benefits? If you're an entertainment speaker, the functional benefit is you're going to have a great hour. You're going to laugh. You're going to have fun. You're going to forget the troubles of your day. Nothing wrong with that. If you're a technical speaker, it's going to be when you are done listening to me, you're going to know how to fill in the blanks. But then I want you to ratchet up higher. And I want you to say, what are the emotional benefits? The emotional benefits for the person who hires you is they're going to get a pat on the back, they're going to get a raise, or at least they're not going to get fired because you're going to perform exactly as you have promised. But what are the emotional benefits for the consumer, the person in the audience? Are they going to feel better about themselves? Are they going to feel better about the world situation? Are they going to feel better if you're a motivational speaker about their future, about their potential? If you speak on males and females communicating, are they going to feel better about their marriage, about their spouses, whatever? The emotional benefits. How are they going to be a better person, a better parent, a better boss, a better employee because of you? It's not that easy to do. It sounds easy, but it's really not. Once you start looking at that, it will allow you to ladder up a step higher and explain specifically what you do that's unique, that makes your audience's life better emotionally. And that's the key to defining your issue.
All right, Bruce. So I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, I've followed you this far, meaning that I can do the lists because I know what I do. You know, I've got this fodder together, but I'm thinking, you know, to craft this line or arrive at this thing, companies like Ford, and they hire you.
And they pay us lots of money.
They pay lots of money.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's an art to then coming up with that great, I call it a single sentence summary. I mean, like, boom, here it is. So I'm a customer service expert. I am not a copywriting expert. I'm not a phrase conceptual expert. How do I'm Joe or Josephine speaker, get from this very powerful list to this very powerful line concept?
Well, let me give you an example.
Yes.
Rather than just pontificate on some ways to do it. We were hired by the United Way to help them do exactly what we're talking about here. And we did this list and we looked at their business, and what it dawned on us they do as we went through this matrix was they don't just do what you think they do, which is provide services to people in need. Another enormous part of their business is teaching people how to give. Because there's plenty of people who don't understand charitable giving, or understand it but don't know how to do it, or want to teach their children how to do it, or need the tax benefits, or whatever. And they have folks who actually run programs and classes. And if you think about putting all that together, unique points of difference, the point of difference is not necessarily that they feed poor folks or that they help build clinics in inner cities. There's lots of organizations that do it. And it's not necessarily that they help people learn how to give, it's that they do both of those things. That's a uniqueness. And so the unartful way of saying it, the way that you can say it without hiring a branding firm or a marketing firm or a guy like me, the unartful way to say it is they're in the thank you business. They facilitate thank yous because they facilitate relationships between givers and recipients. It's not a really cleverly crafted way to say it, but if you said, what do you do? Well, the United Way is in the thank you business. Well, it certainly makes me wonder what that's about, and everybody likes thank yous. So it's an unartful way of saying it. Now, the artful way, the way we said it, and this was after working with copywriters and spending all the time and money that you're talking about, was giving people help and helping people give.
Nice. So
that was the clever way to do it. It's nice, and it's what we like to call a GBM, a goosebump moment. But it's not critical. They could have done great with, we're in the thank you business. You don't have to be a writer to do this. What you need to do is understand two things. Your business, which means yourself, back to the issues part, and you have to understand your audience.
Let me push on that just a little bit, because I'm thinking, like, if we're in the thank you business, to me that would be like, okay, you've got my attention, but I don't really necessarily know what you do, but your fabulous line, which you got paid for, okay?
Giving people help.
Helping people give. And that, to me, I don't know, I quite said goosebump, but I sure had an because I get it. So are you proposing that speakers can get by on at least getting it down to that sentence with the big idea?
Heck yeah, because otherwise, what would they say? What do you do? Oh, well, we have programs. We provide milk for inner city children. And we also have programs where we provide shoes and athletic apparel for young athletes. And by the way, we also work in the senior sector, and we do housing. Oh, and we do lobbying. And by the time you're done, if you're lucky, your audience is there and they're awake, but they've probably left the room.
Or I've smoked you with a fork.
Well, yeah, if I was talking to you, I would be afraid of that. So it's important to realize that being artful about it is great, but being short about it is probably better.
All right, so the takeaway that we should do, it's like, okay, we need to do these lists. And I heard you say it's simple, but it's not easy.
That's right. I would do it over time, and I would also ask other people. Because
Okay.
a lot of times your perception of what you do is not the perception of why you're hired. I had to hear it 100 times from people who hired me. We hired you for your energy and your enthusiasm before it ever sunk in, because energy and enthusiasm is neither something I've studied or I try to do. I tend to be hyper. I have energy, but I never thought of it. It's me. It's not something special that I worked on, you know. So I never would have put energy and enthusiasm into describing what I provide. But clients say all the time, you know what? If you are half as enthusiastic about our work as you are about this, you're going to be great. And boy, if our people leave and they're just walking a few steps off the ground because you run around the stage and you draw pictures and you play harmonica and you have fun, that's great. And I never thought any of those things were I thought, well, I've worked at these places and I have these degrees, and you know. So having other people help you do that, including people who have no vested interest in you doing it, is important. We had a guy in our office who was, what did you say before, not very high on the bell curve of good looks. He wasn't a bad-looking guy, but he, you know, and we did photos of everybody in the office. And the photographer took a photo of this guy. I don't want to use his name in case he ever hears this, but took a photo of the guy, which was stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, but still real. And he came in the office to see it, to see what we were doing, and he looked at it and he goes, oh, you can't use that picture of me, that's terrible. And I said, are you kidding me? I actually had another word in there before kidding.
Yes, it was an adjective.
Yeah.
We can
I
bleep
said,
you out.
I said, are you kidding me? This is the best picture that anyone has ever taken of you. I didn't take it, by the way, so I'm not bragging, but this is the best picture that has ever been taken of you. You should use this for dating, for everything.
Match.com,
Yeah,
post
Match.com,
this.
for your mom, for your refrigerator. And he could not see it. And it was a great lesson that you might not want to do these things yourself because you can't tell.
So the picture thing was a metaphor.
Thank you.
Okay, I was following. I thought that was a good
was
story, but
illustrative.
suddenly you made it mean something there. And like, oh, clever dog. Now, you started this by saying, okay, let's, identify your issue. And so your branding has got to be, boom, your issue is blank. So when you're speaking, not when you're running big stud advertising agency, what's your issue? What's your thing?
My issue is quite simple. If someone says to me, what do you speak on? So what do I speak on? Branding and creativity.
Okay.
But that's just descriptive.
Right.
If they want to know more, or I want to use that
Yeah.
line, what I say is, I make your products and services more valuable.
All right, okay.
And that allows them to say, as you
Give
like
my
to say,
Scooby
give me a
bar.
super-
There,
right,
that's like-
exactly.
yeah.
Wow, because now I'm talking about you. I'm going to make something you have more valuable. What I do is I make your products or services more valuable to consumers. I make them think your products are worth more. And all the time, whether it's watching a speaker or looking at products, people say all the time, why is that guy up there? I'm better than that jerk, right? We hear that all the time. I mean, you hear it in NSA at these meetings every chance you get. Because it doesn't matter if they're good or not. I mean, that's the delivery. It's critical, but it doesn't get you the job. What matters is the perception of how good you are. I did one of the classes at NSA once, and I had people write a list. And I said, I want you to write down your 10 favorite speakers. Just put down their names. And you know all the names. They're all the guys who get to get up on the stage a lot when the rest of us don't. But all those names were on the list. Then I said, on top of that, I want you to write this heading. I know they're really good, : I know they're really good. And then I know they're really good. So-and-so, I know they're really good. So-and-so. And all those names were there. Okay? And then I said, now, look at this. Do you all agree with this? Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I said, now, here's the key. Is the key that they're really good? Or is it the key that you know they're really good? Because the truth of the matter is...
Let that pause. That was a good one. Say that again.
Is the key that they're really good? Or is the key that you know they're really good? The reason those folks stick out, make the big money, get to wear the suits and go to all those fancy meetings that the rest of us aren't invited to, is because we know they're really good. It's about branding. It's about perception. It's about issues. And what I could have them do is next to those names, write, what does that speaker speak about? What is their issue? And we know what it is because they've done a great job of communicating, defining it, first of all, and then communicating it, and then distributing it.
And to bring this all full circle, what I really like about how you described your own business, about making your product or service more valuable, because that's in essence what you've told us how to do today, how to make ourselves more valuable.
And I did my job.
Cha-ching.
Thank you.